And we back. So we black. We back. Cause we black. Oh yeah, cause we black. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is TJKyles. I am a licensed practical nurse, and you are watching an early morning stream of the CJ Kyles Show. What's going on? Just Being Jazzy's podcast. What's going on? Thank you for being here early. I really don't be expecting nobody to be here on these early shows like this because it's super early. So I had a little bit of time before I went to class this morning, and I just said, you know what? We're blowing like a mud. How about I put in some work? How about I put in a little bit more work before I get my day started? Let me make sure and check my audio. It's sounding great. Let me make sure my audio is sounding good. And then we're going to get it cracking. Let me make sure my audio is sounding. All right, we good. We good. Audio is crisp. Audio is crisp, and we can get this thing going. What's going on, Teddy G? Man, if y'all missed last night's show, y'all missed a hell of a show. And I'm talking kind of low because I don't want to wake my neighbors, because I do want to be respectful. It is early, so I'm not trying to be super loud. But if y'all missed last night's show, y'all missed a hell of a show. Let me put some respect on everybody's name who came out and showed up for the show. Y'all did amazing. I appreciate everybody's perspectives. And I definitely want to say thank you. And from that, I learned a whole lot yesterday. I learned a whole lot. And I wanted to talk about some of the things that I learned last night. But before that, if you are just watching this or whenever you're watching this, please hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell, all that good stuff. I greatly appreciate it. Today, this morning, I wanted to talk about the trauma and the pain of the modern man and modern woman. And particularly, I want to talk about the pain and the trauma of the modern man and the modern woman that are the black modern man and black modern woman. I wanted to talk about that. And we are going to be reacting to a clip from lapeef Let's Talk. lapeef Let's Talk is a very popular show on YouTube. And we're going to be reacting to that in a few minutes. But one thing that I noticed, a lot of people are hurt. There's a lot of hurting people out there. A lot of broken trust. A lot of mistrust. And I really don't think people have healed. And I'm not talking about anybody in particular on the show, but I'm just talking about as a whole. You dig? A lot of people have not healed. A lot of people are still hurting. And I never realized what past relationships could do to a person. I never realized how they could have such a negative effect on a person and a person's outlook. And again, this isn't a slight towards anybody on the panel. I'm just speaking in general because I see this from all over the place, men and women. And I know we're talking about, I know it's popular right now to talk about the modern woman, but men have a lot of fear and a lot of trauma too. They absolutely do. And some of the things that you see and you hear in some of these spaces can be traumatizing. I'm going to keep it real. Some of the things that you see and that you hear in these spaces can't be traumatizing, because I'm going to keep it a buck. If I was a single man in 2021 and I wasn't with the woman I was with now, I would not be in anything serious for a very, very long time. I probably wouldn't settle down until I was probably in my mid 40s, maybe late or early 50s. Because it's amazing, because from what I see from my generation, I would like to say our generation came up right at the cusp of social media, right? So I remember being a teenager, like 12, 13, and first you had like the AOL chat rooms. Then you had Black Planet. Then you had MySpace. Then you had like Crushbot. Then you had Facebook. Then you had Instagram. Then you had, you know what I'm saying? It was just the evolution of social media. And watching that in real time, watching that growth and really a relatively short time, you see how people have evolved and how social media has not only changed the world, but it's changed a lot of people's perspectives and how they look at things. And it's also shined a light on certain things in life, especially when it comes to relationships, because now more than ever, people have been given the space to express some of the things that they've gone through. The internet, the YouTube spaces, all these different spaces have given people a chance to express some of the trauma, some of the pain, some of the anger that they may feel still to this day, maybe even long after past relationships. And you know, this is why I'm thankful for the parents that I have, because my pops really led me in the right direction. I have two very thorough men in my life, and they showed me and taught me things that prepared me, and I didn't even know what I was being prepared for, but it prepared me for this. That makes sense. It prepared me for what we have going on right now, what is taking place right now. It prepared me for that. Father always told me a man should always have money in his pocket. A man should always have money in his pocket. A man should always be on his grind. A man should always be on his hustle. And now more than ever, I understand that. Kevin Samuels is an individual who really came along and shook the internet up. And we mention this man because he is relevant in these conversations. And he has initiated a lot of conversations between men and women, particularly black men and black women. And from the show last night, I told some of the ladies on the panel, they were literally verbatim repeating the things that Kevin was saying when it came to what type of man that most women want. Some said, in a hypothetical situation, finding that Superman or that 1% man or the high value man or whatever term you want to call it, they were willing to be one of many. No judgment from me. No judgment from me, because what you want is what you want. Some women say they will choose lifestyle over happiness. And I've always, like, when you talk to girls, when you talk to women, my chick has always told me these things of how women talk and how women get down. And I feel like I learned a lot in nursing school, but it's when you have women now who are very transparent and saying what they want, it's mind blowing to hear. It's mind blowing to hear because these women are real people. They're not paid callers or anything like that. They are real people. They're not paid guests. I didn't pay them to say this. I didn't coerce them into saying this. And it's amazing, really, at the end of the day, because a lot of the times as men, what we're taught about what women want is cap. It's cap. And I thank God that my dad taught me otherwise. Now, it wasn't this whole talk of the high value man by name, but he always taught me to stay on my grind. He always taught me to try to stay in the best shape possible. It wasn't he didn't call it a quote unquote high value man, but if you look throughout history, these are the men who won. The men who are resourceful, the men who kept themselves together, the men who kept themselves looking good, the men who kept themselves smelling good. And I realize that it is a shortage of those type of dudes out here nowadays. I realize that. You know, I do realize that. And one of the ladies brought up something that was very interesting on the panel. She said that a lot of men now are feminized. And I really wanted to bring that up, but I actually forgot about it. She said so many of today's men are feminized, don't want to be real men. So let me say, like, can you blame a woman? Let's just say a woman is in her masculine, trying to do the things that men are doing. With this whole feminization of men, can you honestly blame a woman for feeling the way she feels? Men, some of these men want to be women. Some of these men sit up and complain and don't put in the work. And that is why I can't just beat up on the women. Because if you have two feminine entities in one space, eventually somebody's going to take on that masculine. It is unnatural for two feminine entities to be in one space for too long. It is not. Somebody is going to turn masculine. It just doesn't work. That's not how nature works. You have yin and yang. There is balance. And when the role reversals take place, you have instances of women saying that, well, you know what? If you ain't going to be the man that you're supposed to be, I'm going to be the man that you're supposed to be. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy when you think about it? Like, because I cannot just sit up there and beat up on a woman. I'm not that type of guy. That's not what I do. Because I do think men take some accountability. And this is why the top 10% of men are the top 10% of men. They will always have their pick. Now, that's just not to say that she won't lay with an average dude or below average dude. That's not to say that she won't get pregnant by one. That's not to say that she won't tolerate one. But just know, when you are the best of all worlds, ladies and gentlemen, well, fellas, world is your oyster. That is literally the cheat code to life for men. Seriously. Get in the best shape of your life, which I'm currently working on. And I mean get in the best shape of your life. Become a forever athlete. Become a forever athlete. I heard Kevin Samuel say that. Become a forever athlete. Get in the best shape and remain in the best shape of your life. Let me tell you something. The moment you get off your purpose and you become complacent in your relationship and you just become satisfied with being stagnant, your woman is going to resent you. forget what she say. Watch what she do. Because fortunately, last night, I had some women on the panel that kept it real. And then you go back home and you look at your chick. Oh, well, I would never do you like that. Let me tell you something, bro. The moment you become stagnant, the moment you start focusing on your purpose, the moment you start focusing on your grind, the moment you start letting yourself go physically, is the moment she will start to resent you. It may not come out today. It may not come out tomorrow. It may not ever come out. But she will start to resent you. And let me tell you something too. If you become lax and lazy, she will become lax and lazy. She will become lax and lazy. Why should she step it up? You ain't stepped it up. So why should she step it up? Why should she be feminine? Why should she clean up? Why should she submit? What is she submitting to? But at the same time, women got to pick accordingly. You have to have shout out to TK Kirkland. He says you have to have better coochie management. I agree with that too. So it goes in both ways. But let's get into this video. Just wanted to give y'all my quick little monologue real quick. Let's get into the video before I have to go to class. So let's see what we're talking about. Let's see what we're talking about. No. We have to go back to the other account. We must go back to the other account. With no ads. Alright, so we about to get into this clip, y'all. Let's get into it. Alright, we're about to get into it.
On this episode of lapeef, Let's Talk.
Oh, okay. So I agree with what's been said so far. Definitely. I mean, you can get PTSD just going on social media and be like, oh my God, like it's crazy. No, for real. I'm so serious right now. Like it's a joke, but it's for real. And we have a whole reality shows and people become superstars off of like this toxic behavior, and it's normalized. So from the person that does want something traditional, it's like, I can't go on social media. I can't go to the club. I can't go to the movies. I can't go anywhere and not see something toxic. I said the movies just because like there's a situation where somebody got caught up at the movies and their girlfriend showed up and there was a whole scene in the theater, but that's neither here nor there. But I'm just saying you can't go anywhere or be on any platform where you don't get PTSD of seeing toxic relationships.
I think she's on to something. I think she's definitely on to something because I mean, you take in what you see. You definitely take in what you see. If you are in a space, and this is why I believe in staying in positive spaces. This is why I believe in not going any and everywhere and hanging with any and everyone, because energy, the transfer of energy is very real. The transfer of energy is very real, and people think that it's just something to say, but no, that's real talk. You cannot have everybody in your space, and you are not meant to be any and everywhere. Certain places hold certain type of energies. I don't go around certain people because I know they're negative or I know where the area is negative, and I'm not trying to bring that energy into my space and bring that into the places where I go and where I frequent and where I lay my head at. I don't need that type of energy in my life. I'm a big energy person. A big energy person. So I definitely feel like she's on to something right there. And I usually don't agree with her, but I agree with her on that point. I definitely do.
Over time, I think men and women have lost their way in the sense of what is it to be a man and what is it to be a woman. And once we, I mean, I can point to secularization of society, I can point to a lot of things of why this is the case. But at the root of it, I think it's fear, right? I think it's a fear of, in my particular case, I grew up with both my parents. There was infidelity in my household. Okay, so my parents stayed together until my dad's passing of this year.
I wonder who cheated. I wonder who cheated. Because if you notice, in most cases, when the man cheats, they'll usually say my dad cheated. You know what I'm saying? But she was very she glossed right past that. She said there was infidelity, but then she didn't say on whose end though. Like, was it on the mother's end? Was it on both their ends? I don't know. I think it was more so from what I'm getting. It sounds like it could have possibly been on the mother's end, or maybe both, because usually, and I could be wrong, could be very wrong, but usually when women describe infidelity on their parents' side, usually most of them have no problem saying, "Oh, it was my father. My father cheated on my mother." So I don't know. I just thought that was interesting to bring up. So let's get back to it.
But there was a fear that was ingrained in me from a very young age. If I trust this man, he might leave me, right? And that's a very vulnerable, like if you can get to that point and you can sit with that, because that's a very hard thing to stomach sometimes, is that realization is like, okay, I actually have this fear and I'm operating my life based off of this fear, right? Every decision that I make is based off of fear. And I think that a lot of people are operating that way. And
Is it fear in all cases, or is it just being prepared? Is it fear in all cases, or is it just being prepared? I always think you should have a plan B. Not to say that in relationships have a chick on the side, but you should be able to, if something happened to the relationship, you should be able to take care of yourself, man or woman. If I had a daughter, I would never tell my daughter not to obtain any skills that could generate her income. She still needs to know how to take care of herself, especially in the modern world that we live in, with relationships being what we are today. And I think it's crazy how much this thing has evolved and shifted within the last couple of years. And another question that I have is, how long is this really going to last? This mindset, this thinking, how long is that going to last? Because as we saw with the pandemic, people need each other. But more specifically, though, women need men. You know what I mean? And I don't say that in a chauvinistic way. So how long is this mentality actually going to last? Hmm, I don't know. Let's find out. Let's see.
that's where I see the trouble specifically with women, because even when I talk to people about having children, right? There's a lot of fear in those conversations. Our bodies are a beautiful thing. And I'm learning this right now. through my birth course. It's a beautiful thing. It's natural. We have this, we can create life in our womb, and our organs move up and our body takes the right shape. And then we can actually, like without modern medicine, we can actually still deliver a healthy baby, right? But there's so much fear that is being pushed out to us on a daily basis, to men, to women. And I think that that's where that's the root of a lot of our issues.
I don't know about that one, that particular example, because I've seen plenty of situations where women of all nationalities, and well, not all, but different nationalities and different races say, I want to be a single mother. Or I want to have a baby. I've literally been on panels where I've heard women say that I want to have a baby and raise a baby on my own. So I don't know if that's the complete case in most situations. I think that we are raising a generation of women to be single mothers. To say that you don't need a man to raise a child. I think this is what we're doing. I don't think most women are scared to have children. I think most of them embrace it and embrace doing it by themselves. I think a lot of them wear it as a badge of honor. I think, some may be scared, and I'm not denying that. Some may be scared, but I think a lot of them wear it as a badge. So I don't know about that one.
And that's where that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, if you guys are just tuning in, make sure you guys get them likes up. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Memberships are open, and you just segued right into my next topic, which is our modern women living in fear. Our modern women living in fear. So I think you laughing at, huh? Is that funny? No? Okay. Our modern women living in fear. We'll go with you, Island Girl Q.
I honestly, yeah, we are. And I can say this from the past, fear has fucked me up in 2 relationships. Fear and insecurities, they all align with the same thing. And
Why do we jump from relationship to relationship and like not take the proper time to heal? People think this is just something that, oh, it's not that important. Man, a lot of y'all gonna be single for the rest of your life if y'all refuse to heal those traumas. A lot of y'all are going to be single for the rest of your days because no self-respecting man, I say that over and over again, no self-respecting man is going to deal with that bullshit. We have a whole society saying that, well, he needs to stick with me or she needs to stick with me through my BS. No, they don't. No, they don't. That woman is not your therapist. That man is not your therapist. You need to go see professional help or do what you need to do to heal yourself. The next person needs to be a clean slate. And I don't understand that, man. I really don't. I'm having a hard time understanding that. Like, why we don't. Listen, before I got in my current relationship, I took a minute to heal myself. I took a minute to heal myself. I had to heal. I had to get right again. I had to become me again. Because why am I going to charge this woman with the same mistakes that the other one may have made? You dig what I'm saying? Like, it don't make much sense to me. So,
the fear of a man cheating on us, the fear of a man leaving us, and the fear of us getting married and getting divorced, fear of us having kids and our body changing, and a man not liking us out there. It's a lot of my issues in my past had dealt with fear, insecurities. What else? Yeah, everything regarding what I've went through definitely aligns with fear, and I feel like that's stopping us in finding the man to trust. Trust is a big part of relationships.
you know what? But you know what, though? I'm going to be honest with you. You know why I think that a lot of people still live in fear, especially when it comes to getting in relationships? because they know deep down they really ain't shit. I'm gonna keep it so real. And it goes both ways. Not for just men, not for just men, not for just women. It goes both ways. A lot of dudes have a scarcity mindset because they know that they are not where they should be. And that translates off into insecurity and fear on their part. A lot of guys know that they out here broke. A lot of guys know that they out here fat as hell. A lot of guys out here know that they don't have any type of skills. And that leads to fear and insecurity. You dig what I'm saying? Same with the females. A lot of women know that they don't have nothing else to bring but vagina. Use vagina at that. Can't cook, can't hold an intelligent conversation. So yeah, the fear of being exposed for what you really are, that's a real thing. The fear of being exposed what you really are, that's a real thing. And then they hide it under, well, it just ain't no, the pickings is slim. The pickings is slim. He ain't this and he ain't that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of that fear comes from knowing that we ain't shit. And I'm not saying like we, but I'm saying you. If you know that you're not where you need to be and you really ain't shit and you really are below average, that's where fear kicks in. Because I'm going to tell you something, man. Women who really got their shit together, they not really worried about that type of shit. I'm going to be honest. Men who got their shit together really ain't worried about this type of shit. They aware. They are aware. They're watchful. Well, watchful. They watch out. They watch their backs, but they ain't really worried about that type of shit. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna keep it real.
Relationships regarding trust, communication, that's the foundation. And if we have fear, that's going to fuck up the foundation. Excuse my language. That's going to mess up the foundation. So, regarding what I see now in this generation and how women are so independent, they can do for themselves because they feel like a man can't do for them and X, Y, and Z, that's fear. All that plays into and that fucks up our mind mentally. So, how can we have a successful marriage or a successful relationship if fear is just consistently on our minds?
A lot of that too is that we don't like to look in the mirror. We don't like to look in the mirror at ourselves. We want to look at everybody else and what everybody else is doing wrong. And we don't want to look in the mirror at ourselves and what we are doing, right? You are what you are. You are what you attract. Hurt people attract hurt people. Broken people attract broken people. Dusty people attract dusty people. And that's a hard thing to really sit there and look in the mirror and say that, you know what? I may be dusty as hell. Ego, bruh. Ego is a crazy thing, man. Ego is a monster. Because when you look at yourself and you assess yourself and you say, and you look in the mirror and you say, man, all I'm attracting is dusty hood rats with a bunch of kids by a bunch of different niggas. What is it about me that keep attracting these old dusty hood rats? Huh? That's a hard pill to swallow. To know that, man, it might be me. It might be me. It is a hard pill to swallow to say, you know what? What is it about this coochie that keep attracting these dusty dudes? Because I'm gonna tell you something. Every dude ain't dusty and every woman ain't dusty. You dig? Every man and every woman ain't dusty. So we gotta look in the mirror and really ask ourselves, is it me? Am I too lazy to get my shit together? Because let me tell you something. Becoming the best version of you is hard work. Becoming the best version of you is hard work. It takes consistency, it takes persistence, it takes discipline. And 80% of people do not have it. 80% of people do not have it. It's something that I'm working on. I got everything in my life where I want it. Everything in my life is going great. The only thing I don't have that I want is a phenomenal body. And I'm working on that. I'm working on that. But it takes discipline, consistency. Listen, to go to the gym 4 or 5 times a week, and for somebody who don't normally like to do it, that's it's different. It's difficult. It can be done, but it's difficult. That takes discipline. To drink a gallon of water a day is difficult. To change your diet, to shape your body into what you want it to be, it is a difficult task. And most people can't do it. That's why most of the people in America is fat as hell. But keep it real. Especially when you out here grinding. It's so easy to order out when you out here working. It takes consistency to go and meal prep, to go and put in that work, to go out here and work out and walk every day, even if it's just a 30-minute walk. It takes a lot to become the best version of yourself. And people, they expect people to just settle with the not the worst of them, but just them, and they're not at their best. So how can you expect a man at his best? Or how can you expect a woman at her best? And you ain't at yours. That's where the fear comes from, in my opinion. Let's move on.
So I definitely feel that's a major part of why there might be divorces. Well, money has to deal with it. With number one thing with divorce, but shoot, if we plan ahead and think of the positives, I don't think we should be living in fear. And sometimes that sets people back when it comes to relationships and everything like that. But
Kayla.
Rebecca, you don't gotta raise your hand. Rebecca,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
you
Becca,
girl.
go ahead.
She's like in the classroom.
Just talk, girl. Come on now.
And talk over anybody that's talking over you. That's
Yes.
Nope.
Don't let nobody cut you off. Go
No,
ahead.
it's your guys' show.
No. That's not what's gonna happen now, y'all.
But
Slow down.
to piggyback off of that too, the number one need for women is security. And that's just not financial security, it's emotional security, it's spiritual security, it's security. And so I think as modern women, we've developed our own level of security, right? Oh, go get your money. Go, I make my own money. I don't need a man. I want a man, right? And we're saying that because our most intrinsic need is security. And I think it's because women need to control that level of security. Oh, if I'm not going to get it from a man, I'm going to do it myself. And that's that level of control that women have and need too. And that plays a role in the decision making as well. And it's to the woman's detriment. It's completely to our detriment. And it's all rooted back in fear, I believe. So
I somewhat agree with what she's saying. But I'm a big advocate of being self-aware too. And I realize that maybe in some situations that you can be as self-aware as possible and you can be the best version of yourself and all that kind of stuff, but and things can go left, but that's just a part of life. Life is about risk. You could walk outside and get hit by a bus, and you know what I'm saying, and that's just what it is. So life is about risk, but I really think majority of that lies on people expecting people to accept them when they're not at their best, but wanting the best, if that makes sense. And to me, that's unrealistic. Because if you haven't done and put in the work to become your best, why should anybody else, man or woman, accept you and you not at your best? It's not enough to just be great in one area. I'm sorry. And the way we move in today's world, it is not enough. What's good, Uncle Stu? What's up? All the people in the chat, I appreciate y'all rocking with me this morning. It is not enough to just be great in one area in today's modern world, especially if you're a man. Especially if you're a man. You cannot be great in just one area. I'm going to keep it real. You cannot be great in just one area if you are a dude and you want the very best out of life. I would never promote a man to be average. I would never do it. It's just not for me. Now, I don't knock average men at all. I don't think there's anything horrible about being average. But I know with being an average man brings an average life. And I'm just not about that. Personally. That's me personally. That's not to say that an average man is not a good person and not and can't do great things, but just an average life, that's not for me. Because I've been exposed to finer things in life, and now I am addicted to the finer things and achieving the finer things in life. But with that, when you are on that hustle, when you are on that grind, when you are trying to achieve the finer things in life, that it comes with perks. It comes with perks. It comes with women who want to be with you just because they know what you are about to become or what you are. It comes, I mean, if that's a perk for you, it's not really a perk for me because I have a good woman. So, but for the ones that want that, it comes with being able to get up and go when you want to go and do what you want to do and seeing the world and experiencing different cultures. Those are the perks that comes with not wanting to be average. You are going to put in work. Nobody said that this was an easy thing to do. You are going to miss a lot of things. You are going to put in a lot of hours. Your woman might be mad at you a lot of the times because you can't spend enough time. But if she wants the perks, she just have to suck it up. But I tell you what, I wouldn't trade that for nothing. Shout out to Uncle Stu. Shout out to Teddy G. Teddy G say, once you go first class, ain't no going back. Listen, I'm scared to go to certain places. I'm scared to do certain things. And I'm scared to go to certain luxurious places because I'm afraid that once I get exposed to that, I'm never going back. That's why I moved the way I moved, because once I got exposed to the things that I'm already exposed to now, like I cannot go back to that. I can't. It's like an addiction. A good addiction, though. The life I want to live takes more than an average salary. And I'm keeping it real. It does. And only the people who've been there, only the people who've experienced things knows what I'm talking about. And fellas, if you had that kind of mindset, you ain't gonna ever lose with no woman. Never. You won't be able to have your pick. I had women on my show say they would be one of many to the right man, to that Superman. So be the best version of you, whether you a woman or a man. Because I'm telling you, right, listen, a woman who is feminine cooperative, keeps herself up, have a nice attitude that's not masculine, they will get chosen. I did a show called Pick Mishas Get Picked. They will get chosen. I'm going to tell you something right now. I go on vacation a lot. Everybody not single and unhappy. Everybody isn't single and unhappy. I see plenty of women with a man and they feminine. That internet, blah, 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 blah. That shit is cool for the internet. But in the luxurious spots that I go to, I see women with their men. Everybody ain't scared. Everybody is not scared. I see women with their men living great. That's why I say this whole YouTube thing, this internet shit, is a lot of it is an illusion, bruh. It is not it is they like to they'll lead you to believe that the internet represents all of life, bruh. I'm here to tell you. I see it all the time. Black women. I see happy, feminine, successful Black women with their happy, masculine men all the time. They're just quiet about it because they happy. They don't need to broadcast it to the whole world to let them know. Why participate in the folkery? Why would why should they participate in this nonsense when they are living their best life? I'm doing it because I care. Because I do want to see people succeed. That's why I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. That's a fact, Uncle Stu. Do not be afraid, my brother. Success feels great. I'm living above average. I have a good woman because I am showing her the best things in life. That's a fact. Listen, and I do. Parts of me wishes more women that are in these spaces would come on the internet and talk to show the other side, but I understand why they won't. This is a toxic space if you ain't built for it. This is a very toxic space. YouTube, the internet, bro, this is toxic, bro. It will drain you if you ain't built for it. It will give you PTSD, as the women said in this video. I see it all the time, though, bro. I see it. Everybody, listen, bro. Like I said before on my other broadcast, and I use this as an example because it's a very important part of my life. When you go on vacation, when you purchase a stay at a resort, it automatically builds you as a couple. You have to go out of your way to book as a single, right? And you're still going to pay the couple rate. You know why? Because things like that are built for couples. They're meant for couples. Very rarely. I mean, you'll see, the girls' trips or the guys' trips here and there. But very rarely do you really see single people at 5-star resorts, luxury cruises and everything like that. And I know some people, that may not mean anything to some people, but I'm just saying. I go and I see happy couples all the time. But they're quiet because they don't want to be interjected into this nonsense, because it is nonsense. Some of it is anyway. But I see it all the time. But when a man can focus on his grind and do what he needs to do and make a woman comfortable enough for her to be in her feminine, I'm not going to say it's going to eliminate all problems. but a lot of the bull stuff is cut out. When a man is focused on his purpose, when a man is in shape, when a man can get money and he can provide, and she know all that. Listen, bro, I'm gonna tell you something else too. Tell you something else. This whole he gotta make six figures. When if you going by that, this whole you have to make six figures to get with certain women. I'm not saying you shouldn't want to make six figures, but this whole you have to make six figures, that's totally cap. Pay attention to what they do and who they screw versus what they say. All this, he gotta be that's cap. That's just for the camera. Cause the nigga they laying up with ain't a millionaire, ain't even making six figures, and might not even have a job. So that's cap. And I'm not telling you to shoot for the lower salary, but if you make decent money and your grind is right, and you got some swagger about yourself, and you look decent, cap. You dig? Here's one thing to say what you will do online. But when you look in a bed, it's a totally different situation. With some, not all, but with some. Let's finish the last part of this video because I got to go to school and finish grinding so I can live that luxury life. You dig?
Oh, again, thanks.
All right. Kayla.com. Modern women living in fear. What are your thoughts about that? Is that the reason why they, I think we spoke about it a little bit, this wall they have up, why they are fighting to be traditional, why they persist on having these modern ways, so to speak? You're on mute, just so you know, baby girl.
Oh, okay. So I agree with what's been said so far. Definitely. I mean, you can get PTSD just going on. So
okay, yeah, we saw that at the beginning. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that's just it, man. Women, choose better. Become the best version of yourself. All these one men making six figures and the high value man. Well, if you a masculine, he ain't gonna deal with you no way. He may screw you, but you'll never be taken seriously. And I find it funny that so many of these chicks be like, "Well, I've dated millionaire men, but you don't secure them, so it doesn't mean anything." I could sit up here and tell you all day that I smashed Halle Berry, but if I don't have no evidence, what does it mean? If a tree falls in the middle of the forest, does it make a sound? And nobody's there to hear it? I know I probably screwed that analogy up, but yeah. I see it all the time. Oh yeah. Well, I've been proposed to several times by 8 different millionaires, and but meanwhile, your baby daddy is the cook at Subway. He's a sandwich artist. And I'm not knocking my Subway workers, but I'm just trying to paint the picture here because it makes no sense. It makes no sense. So I can see through a lot of the cap, but it is what it is, man. I appreciate everybody for rocking with me this morning. I'm about to get ready for school. Please be sure to tune in tonight. I would love to get some different people on a conversation. We are having a part 2 conversation to the one we had last night. Uncle Stu, if you want to come in at 9:30, please feel free. Merce Jackson, same to you. If you want to come in, Teddy G, if y'all want to come in, it's going to be a great conversation. Befuddled part 2. Shout out to the homie King Gene who brought us that term last night. Y'all go check out Befuddled part 1. It's up. And y'all watch that and y'all get ready for part 2 tonight. So I'm gonna holler at y'all in a minute. A nursing video will be dropping at 2:00. More so 2:30, but a nursing video will be dropping. And yeah, it's about to get it cracking. Let's do it. I'll holler at y'all in a minute. Hit that like button, subscription button, notification bell. I love y'all. Go be the best you. And at the end of the day, do what you got to do to be the best version of yourself. I'll let you in a minute. Deuces.